He told me, I defended my state and it abandoned me. As he says, at best you would cry at my grave. This is not called life, what I am living now. He would fight for his land. He sat and spoke with his dead comrades, drunk, his only mother. I do not wish to see what I have seen there. Welcome, dear viewers, to our channel. Today we have an unusual program format. Today I will let you listen to the confession of a volunteer's mother who went to defend and protect Ukraine in the first days of the war. This is a difficult confession filled with pain, horror, and despair. I want to tell the story of my younger son and cry out for help because right now I am in a deadlock. My younger son went to the front as a volunteer. On the 1st of March, in the morning of 2022, he told me, cry, don't cry, say it, don't say it, I have to go because besides me, no one will protect my land, me and you. About 2 weeks after the training, she was already on the front line, and for the most part, he fought on what they call the zero line as a combat grenadier, an infantryman. For about 5 months, he carried out his combat missions carefully, defended his land and was gravely wounded, lost a lot of blood, but survived thanks to his comrades. They carried him out. There was a very large blood loss. Thanks to them, his life was literally decided in half an hour. He had an explosive mine injury. He lay confined to bed, got him back on his feet. Thank God the bones and internal organs were not damaged. There was a very large injury to the muscular tissues and tendons. The right side of the body was very badly injured. In addition, at that time, he already had 2 concussions. He didn't report 1 concussion. He continued to fight with the first concussion. It was documented. And the second concussion was already, he didn't talk about it. Already when he was in the hospital, then those guys who were sitting or lying with him in the ward realized that he had ringing in his ears and that his head hurt a lot. And then it became clear that he also had that concussion. He spent a month in the hospital, a month in rehabilitation at home. He stayed at home. In principle, perhaps, as a mother, I behaved a bit differently than I should have. But I was used to trusting and believing specialists. We were told that his injury was about a second group disability, and we were confident that further treatment would follow. After rehabilitation, he began going to doctors. And as a result of all this, it was just going from office to office. We were given no treatment recommendations. And in the end, it turned out that he was fit, fully suitable for military service. Meanwhile, in staying at home, he was already beginning to experience mental disorders. He hallucinated, couldn't sleep, and imagine they brought him their Snickers bars, counting them, saving them when there was nothing to eat. I remember these phrases. Mom, how long will he keep coming to me and placing Snickers on my pillow? It was very difficult. I suggested to him, told him, let's go. Let's consult a specialist. He told me that he has to fulfill his duty. He has to avenge his fellows. He doesn't want people to say he's like Kosish, that he's pretending, that he will endure. I never in my life thought that he would still be considered fully fit for military service. But that's how it happened, when we already realized that everything was signed there and that he, it turns out, was healthy on paper. Well, his phrase, I enter the office, they listen to me, they look at me with sympathetic eyes and write, healthy. Then we decided to consult doctors. He went to the regional hospital, made an appointment with a neurologist. She prescribed treatment for him for 2 months. She told him he needed rest. We have this prescription. Well, we were sent to his military unit, which at that time was located at Reformation. He showed his leadership. I won't say exactly to whom. I don't know the prescription that he needs treatment. Through volunteers, there are these volunteers. There's a phone number. They got him medication for free, thank you. And these were also injections. And they told him, you'll be injecting them, you'll be taking them. And they sent him 4 kilometers from Kherson. They were stationed actually, not in trenches they were, but somewhere in barns, ruined buildings. The guys were giving him injections. And then after about 10 days, they were sent near Bakhmut. You understand that no treatment continued further. And near Bakhmut, he received again. Concussion. It happened during an artillery preparation. The enemy launched this artillery attack. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. He was lying unconscious for about 2 hours, somehow crawled over to his own, and they took him to the medical unit and sent him about 8 to 10 kilometers away, where there was some hospital. A doctor general practitioner saw him. They examined him and prescribed pills for him. They said, "You'll rest for 5 days in the medical unit and then return there to the front line." And then, I don't know what happened with my son, but he left the military unit, and somehow, by hook or by crook, he made his way home. Then we probably did. I don't know if it was right or wrong, but my main goal was to save my child, who couldn't endure the headaches, who was losing consciousness. And I turned to an acquaintance. We have a very good specialist. He warned that he wouldn't sign anything because they aren't authorized to admit military personnel, as only specific hospitals can do that. But thanks to him, he administered IVs for a month. We treated him. He told me, "I defended my country and it abandoned me. If only you, Mom, saw the eyes of that therapist looking at me as if I were some dirt." These were his words, his first words. You understand? Do you understand the state I'm in now? I'm a very law-abiding person. I raised 2 children. I raised them as worthy children, worthy people, respectable people. I have great respect among people. My children do too. Many people support me. I don't dare to express this pain. And I live with the fact that, on one hand, my child really broke the law. Well, if she had followed the law, he would, the next day, when he returned, as he says, in the best case, you would cry at the grave. You understand? He was saving his life this way. He couldn't perform his duty because his health was in such a condition. No one, not a single person offered us, "Yes, I'm to blame." Well, that's how I am. I'm used to trusting people. I am used to doing my work with full responsibility. And I was sure that right after the first injury, my child would receive qualified help. But for almost 3 months, he went around to doctors collecting certificates and was found to be completely healthy. As for his psychological state, no one was interested at all. This is not called life, what I am living now. At the moment, he cannot sleep. He constantly thinks about how to get out of this situation. The lawyer we hired, I'm not talking about the money we paid her, but I'm not even mentioning that. It's not about the money, but for 3 months, she just led us by the nose. I am legally illiterate. I have a higher education, but I haven't had to deal with legal matters. And it's just as well that we finally realized that she is just taking advantage of us by not providing any help. And today we don't know what to do. He loves his homeland. He would do anything for his land. Well, that's how it happened. And it happened because we have so many negligent, careless, forgive me for saying this, beasts who don't hear anyone, don't see anyone or anything around them. And now there are these laws that punish those who left service. He's a hero. He was ready to give it even now. He sits and says, "I will return." How? Just the day before yesterday, he was sitting and talking with his fallen comrades, and I was sitting next to him, listening to this. On that day, when he was concussed there, near Bakhmut, a guy died. He laid there for a day. Well, he was very seriously wounded. I won't go into details. They're very horrible there. And he was so tormented, my son. We had to leave everything. I even asked for leave from work, and we went to the grave there. I am not the only person. Especially, I do not wish for any other mother to see what I saw there. How so? He is sitting, scrolling through the contact list. This one is gone, this one is gone, this one is gone, this one is gone. Those who were with him, they were the first volunteer boys. Thanks to them, these are not small words, it's the truth. Thanks to these guys, we are sitting here right now. And those animals, the Rushists, are not here. Understand? thanks to them. And probably 90% of them are no longer around. And yesterday, he tells me, when he said, I must live for the sake of little son and daughter Vanya, who died because I lived without a dad and they don't have a dad, and I want to periodically visit them so they know that I will be the connection with their dad for them. He literally said this yesterday. We are very good. We maintain relationships with many. He stays in touch with the wives and mothers of his fallen comrades. And so they say how much he was authoritative for them, for these guys. They talked about him, about my son. He was such a brave boy. So once, when he was receiving medical treatment, one of his comrades, who was also in treatment, came by to visit us. And you know, when he came in and I met him, I just hugged that child because he was the one who carried my son out, thanks to whom my son is alive. And I started to say to him, my son, you know, expressing words of gratitude. And he pushed me away and said, why have you given birth to so few of them? If there were more like him, we would have driven the Russians out of Kherson long ago. This boy is alive. He is now fighting in Donetsk region. God willing, may he live. May the Lord protect him. But why did my son break down? And why did he do that? I don't know. I would like, well, maybe this is my confession, maybe this is a cry from the heart, but we want truth and justice. I want fair treatment for my child. I want to save his good name.
Desertion is considered one of the most dangerous military crimes, especially under martial law, but for prosecuting servicemen under Article 408 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine to criminal liability, there must be necessary grounds, namely the presence of all elements of a criminal offense. In the ruling of the Military Collegium of the Supreme Court of Ukraine, dated February 10, 1998, in the year 1998, in case T, it is explained that a person who was illegally conscripted into the armed forces of Ukraine cannot bear criminal responsibility for committing the military crime of desertion. The son of the woman who shared her story with us is not subject to criminal liability because the injuries he received is grounds for recognizing him as disabled. According to Article 23 of the Law of Ukraine on mobilization, training and mobilization, those liable for military service recognized as persons with disabilities in the prescribed manner are not subject to conscription during mobilization, or, according to the conclusion of the Military Medical Commission, they are temporarily unfit for military service due to health conditions for a period of up to 6 months, with the subsequent undergoing of the Military Medical Commission. Most likely the woman's son fell victim to corrupt offenses or the negligent performance of duties by members of the Military Medical Commission.
Why do people, specifically the mothers of true patriots, have to go through such trials? Why does nobody protect them? Why do they lower their eyes and grimace, as if something disgusting is in front of them, something from which they want to run away? But what are they running from? Perhaps from their own conscience. But the truth is singular. No one ever ran away from conscience. I want to wish health and patience to all who are in any way involved in the defense of our country. Patience to those who face injustice with an unbridled thirst for power, for money, for primitive arrogance. Ukraine is invincible. Ukrainians are invincible. We will stand together. Because only together are we strong.
Українці непереможні. Бо разом, бо лише разом ми сила.